Welcome to CyberWatch. CyberWatch is produced by Silent Breach, a leading cybersecurity firm specializing in network security and digital asset protection. CyberWatch airs weekly in 10-minute episodes and covers the latest events, technologies, and conversations from across the industry. Threat intelligence has come a long way since its humble beginnings as a shared blacklist of malicious IP addresses and URLs. Today, security analysts and technicians can access curated, real-time, and targeted threat information from around the world, helping fend off attacks before any damage is done. Threat intelligence refers to the collection and analysis of information about potential or current threats to an organization's security. It can include information about known or potential vulnerabilities, cyber attack tactics and techniques, and information about specific threat actors or groups. The goal of threat intelligence is to provide organizations with the information they need to understand and mitigate the risks they face, and to improve their overall security posture. Threat intelligence can be gathered from a variety of tools and sources, including open-source intelligence, vulnerability databases, proprietary research, dark web monitoring, indicators of compromise, log analysis, and more. Threat intelligence is now a budding industry, estimated at $15 billion and growing. Here's a little bit about how we got here. Back in the dinosaur era of the internet, for example, the early 2000s, threat intelligence was mainly composed of blacklists of malicious IP addresses, URLs, as well as indicators of compromise. These lists were often managed by the government and designed to be fed into security software such as SIEMs and firewalls. This was all part of a coordinated effort by governments and private industry to counter a wave of malicious software attacks that had been sweeping the globe. Did it work? Well, partially. Like every arms race, these early defensive efforts forced the hackers to develop more sophisticated and powerful tools. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, intelligence tools continued to add more data categories and sources to their arsenal. Software and hardware sensors were deployed across the attack surface, allowing organizations to monitor important application, network, IoT, and cloud indicators for the first time. Furthermore, the way in which threat data was shared was continuing to change as well. While in the past, sharing of threat intelligence was limited and ad hoc, many communities and organizations began to develop solely dedicated to sharing threat intelligence. Information sharing and analysis centers and computer emergency response teams allow organizations to pool information regarding threats and collaborate on responses. But with all this new data flowing in, a new challenge was created. How can organizations process all their threat intelligence so that critical information is identifiable, actionable, and timely? With information now pouring in from all sides, open source intelligence, next-gen firewalls, log monitors, dark web scanners, and SIEMs to name just a few, organizations were searching for ways to cut through the static, automate as much as possible, and identify attacks as early as possible. One of the ways in which this was done was through next-gen intelligence software, such as Quantum Armor, which combines all your intelligence feeds, what is known as intelligence fusion, and correlates these against your company's assets. Alerts are automatically prioritized by risk level, and mitigation roadmaps are custom generated. Furthermore, rather than threat intelligence being used to identify and respond to specific threats, modern threat intelligence also informs long-term security strategy, decision-making, and incident response. Here are 5 ways that threat intelligence can help protect against ransomware. Number 1. Identify and understand the threat. Threat intelligence can provide information on the tactics, techniques, and procedures currently being used by ransomware attackers, which can help you identify and understand the threat. Number 2. Proactively disrupt attacks. The first step in most ransomware attacks will be to search for company credentials that may have leaked onto the dark web due to a third-party breach. Alternatively, they may choose to launch a phishing attack by crawling the web for a list of company email addresses. By using a threat intelligence solution like Quantum Armor, you'll be able to proactively identify these security gaps, closing down most ransomware attack vectors before they get off the ground. Number 3. Detect and respond to attacks. Threat intelligence can also provide information on indicators of compromise associated with ransomware attacks, which can be used to detect and respond to attacks. For example, Quantum Armor will instantly alert you to any past or ongoing attacks against your company by flagging any indicators of compromise in your cloud logs, lookalike domains, as well as any sensitive data that's been leaked to the deep or dark webs. Number 4. Develop a defense strategy. By understanding your threat landscape, you can choose a proactive defense strategy to better protect your networks and data. Quantum Armor automatically groups your threats according to attack vector, for example, social, infrastructure, or application, helping you visualize your posture and organize your efforts. Number 5. Build an incident response plan. Having an incident response plan in place that outlines the steps to be taken in case of a ransomware attack can help a company quickly and effectively respond to an attack and minimize damage. By understanding the attacker's strategy, you'll be able to choose effective countermeasures to choke or rebound from their attack. Thank you for listening to Cyberwatch, a Silent Breach podcast. Stay tuned for weekly 10-minute episodes. To learn more about Silent Breach, visit silentbreach.com or follow us on all your favorite social media platforms.